New York, Minnesota, Idaho, Kansas, North Carolina, Indiana, Texas, Iowa, Arizona, South Carolina, and Oregon.
Good afternoon, gymnastics fans, and welcome to the 2019 NCAA Regional. I am here in beautiful Corvallis, Oregon. My name is Heather Humphrey,
And I'm Stephanie McGregor.
and we are thrilled to be calling the action in both
Stephanie McGregor.
and we are thrilled to be calling the action in both sessions today, as well as tomorrow evening's final.
This afternoon, we'll have 4 teams competing: Denver, Boise State, Southern Utah, and University of Washington, with the top 2 teams moving on to tomorrow's final round and will be competing in an evening session. There's going to be some great gymnastics this afternoon, and we're excited to get started.
You will also see some individualists competing. They qualified in from the regular season based on their average, either in the all-around or on each event. So as we go through, there will be some individuals competing after the teams, not on every event, but we will let you know as they come along.
Yep. A couple other quick hitters. Denver's coming in as top seed for this meet. They're ranked 5th in the nation. I'm excited to see them here in person. They don't make it out to Gill Coliseum too often, so it's going to be a good afternoon of gymnastics.
In fact, I don't think they've been here since 2003.
Yeah,
It's been a long time. And right now we've got about 45 seconds left in the one touch. And we're going to let you know what teams are starting on which events here. So in the first rotation,
we're going to have Denver on vault. It'll be Southern Utah on bars, Boise State on beam, and UW on floor.
And just a reminder that Flow Gymnastics offers individual event stream options if you would prefer to watch a specific team or if you really want to make sure you don't miss your favorite gymnast. Or you can stick with us and we'll be showing you as many live performances as we can while all 4 teams are competing simultaneously. Looks like we've got a little bit more time remaining on the one touch. Oh, they've reset the clock.
Interesting. So a little bit more about the teams that we'll see this afternoon. As I mentioned, Denver is the top seed coming in. They're ranked 5th in the nation, and they'll be starting on vault. Next team up on bars is Southern Utah. They're coming in as 24th in the nation, so still a strong contender. Followed by Boise State on beam. They are the 12th ranked team. And lastly, starting on floor will be University of Washington Huskies, coming in at 18th in the nation. So a lot of good gymnastics teams here in Gill this afternoon.
Absolutely. And we have a brand new regional format this year that we can let you know about.
So yesterday this actually isn't the first day of competition. Yesterday was kind of the play-in round. So during that afternoon meet, it was Iowa versus Arizona, and Iowa won that meet. So they are moving on, and we'll see them later this evening. And so the big change here with the new regionals format, in the past, there was 6 different regional sites with 36 teams qualifying to regionals. So you end up with 6 schools at each region, and it was just a single day meet with 6 teams. Now some of these girls are going to have to compete up to 3 times in a single weekend in order to move on to nationals. So Iowa and Arizona, they had to compete yesterday. Everyone else got to rest, and their first meet is today, with those top 2 teams moving on to the final round in Saturday. And the really impactful change there is that now with only 4 regional sites, it's still only the top 2 from that regional that moves on. So you end up with 8 teams at nationals instead of 12. And so for teams that are kind of on that borderline of they have a shot at making it, but they really have to have a good meet in order to make it onto NCAA's, well, now they really have to have a lights out meet in order to make it onto NCAA's.
Absolutely.
So some very significant changes.
Yeah, and part of the reasoning, I talked to Michael Chaplin in detail about this, the Oregon State assistant coach, and basically because there's only 4 events, when there were 6 teams competing, what would happen is everybody is going at the same time, but you've got 2 teams waiting what they call a bye rotation, where they go off and do a little room, and you're just sitting there and you're moving around and
having a dance party, maybe.
Right. I remember doing that at nationals, and it's hard. It's hard on the athletes to stay warm and stay ready to go, stay focused, but not overthink things. And so it was, the decision partly was made for the gymnasts, but also for the fans. This way, when everybody's competing at the same time, everyone's finished at the same time, and you're not, 4 teams haven't gone and you're still waiting for 2 more rotations to go. So it's a little bit more fan friendly, and it's definitely better for the gymnast bodies at that moment. But like you said, they're also competing more days in a row,
right?
Which that does take a toll on their body. And I know that everybody has been prepping for this from the beginning of the season. It's not unlike just having 2 practices, a couple days in a row. Everybody does that. But competition is different.
It's different, yeah.
Landings are harder. Mentally, it's more difficult. So this is a significant change all around for everyone to adjust to.
I wonder, Heather, just thinking about it, I know back in the day at regionals, you kind of always hoped that you were one of the teams that started on a bye so you could finish competing.
Right.
So that, because judges' scores, they just tend to elevate.
Tend to go up a little bit. It's just natural. Yes.
And so you'd always be hoping, well, hopefully we start on a bye because that gives us that little
bit of edge. Exactly.
So now that's not a factor anymore.
Yeah, which is really good for everybody. And I believe it is time. Clock is down. Judges look ready. Athletes look ready. On vault, Alexandria Ruiz is starting off for Denver. Over on bars, Shailen Murakami for Southern Utah.
On beam, we have Gabriela Boza. And on floor for UW, Michaela Nelson.
And if you were looking at the top left of your screen, Alexandria had a nice fall to Yurchenko layout full. Small hop on the landing. Gabriela Boza over on beam. Significant wobble on her acro series.
Gabriela is a sophomore from Arizona.
So far, other than the small wobble, haven't seen much. Nice front aerial. And her dismount, a gainer off the end. Small hop on the landing, but overall a solid routine for Gabriela Boza. Over on vault, this is Caitlin Scow for Denver. Yurchenko, layout full, and a great landing. That is what everyone is trying to do tonight. Every single hop and step is going to make the biggest difference.
I think this is Michaela's final tumbling pass here. Very solid double pike.
Over on bars, this is Southern Utah. Beautiful double layout.
And that was from Stephanie Turvot.
And we've got so much action happening. We're going to be jumping all over the place, just trying to show you as much as we can. And over on beam for Boise State, this is Isabella Amato. Isabella is a junior from Panama City, Panama. She actually represented Panama at the 2016 Summer Olympics and took 44th in the all-around. Oh, and that's unfortunate. But do remember that there are 6 gymnasts competing for each team. They can drop, they will be dropping 1 score. So hopefully all the other. And Isabella has been really consistent this year. In fact, she tied for the MRGC title at their conference championship just last weekend on this event. She's regained her composure. Getting ready for her dismount, round off, 1.5 twist, great landing. Oh, and we have another fall on floor.
Ooh.
This is Monica Riley for University of Washington.
Now, at this point, we're into postseason. Really, the girls know how to do these routines. So it could be, first rotation out at regionals. The pressure is on. Their season is either going forward or it's over if they're not in that top 2. So I would say that some of these mistakes we're seeing early on are a bit of nerves with the postseason.
Absolutely. I mean, gymnastics is so much just a mental game. You do these routines over and over. The skills are not difficult at this point for any of these athletes, but hitting it when it counts under pressure is a completely different ballgame. Double tuck, that looked nice. Monica Riley for University of Washington. And over on bars for Southern Utah.
This is Hannah Nip. Nice handstand there. Line change into a Jaeger. Didn't float quite as much as some of the Jaegers we'll see. You want those release moves to really go away from the high bar and then come back in to catch it. So the judges are looking for that release move amplitude, those high bar handstands, and of course the stuck dismount. And Hannah did take a step forwards there, so the judges might deduct that more than a step backwards.
Well,
Heather.
She's short on the landing,
Right.
and which means her chest is also low, so it could be more than just your typical 10th. It was a rather large step.
Yeah.
It probably will be reflected in her score.
And over on beam, this is Courtney McGregor for Boise State.
Courtney is a 5'4" junior from Christchurch, New Zealand.
And she's another gymnast who competed at the 2016 Olympics, where she represented New Zealand.
Although we didn't get to see her entire routine, it was a beautiful stuck landing there. Over on vault, this is Lindsey Brown. Their big star. Beautiful 1.5
nice
twisting Yurchenko. That is worth a 10.0. Small, itty bitty step on the landing. Beautiful height. And we will be seeing a lot of Lindsey this afternoon. Over on bars, this is Caitlin Coe for Southern Utah. Beautiful pack salto down to the low bar. A little bit of a form deduction there. Back up to the high bar. Looked a little short. Our angle's not great for that. But finishes with a full twisting double flyaway and a step on the landing. I'd like to see a little bit more amplitude on that dismount. It would make it much easier for her to stick. And over on floor for Washington,
This is Amara Cunningham.
and Amara is a freshman from Nyack, New York. She has scored a 9.9 this year on this event. Expecting big things from her in the future.
And Amara comes from a family of college athletes. Her mom played softball and her dad played baseball at Northwestern.
Athletic family. A nice double pike, a little bit squatty on that landing. I don't think the judges will deduct much, if anything, for that. Love seeing that smile. Unlike the regular season, you might notice that the teams are behind a curtain. That prevents the girls from running out onto the floor or the vault or the bars or beam. It kind of keeps the chaos of 4 teams competing at once down to, well, down to, I guess, the minimum, I suppose. It just helps keep the energy. I mean, the energy level is definitely high in here.
Over on bars mounting, we have Autumn Jorgensen for Southern Utah.
Ooh.
Nice Ginger release move there. A little bit of leg separation that the judges may or may not take the deduction for. Small hop there on double tuck.
I know she's probably happy with that routine. She fell on bars the last meet, so really wanting to come in and nail that one, which she did. We've got a few more competitors. Vault is finished, so Denver is done. Vault always goes the quickest with only 1 vault per gymnast. Beam and floor always take a little bit longer.
And waiting to compete for Boise State on beam is Sarah Means.
Sarah's a 5'2" senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. She hasn't scored below a 9.825 all year, and she earned first team all MRGC honors in this event.
Oh, and MRGC is the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference.
Yes.
For those that aren't familiar with that acronym.
You will be hearing several acronyms, and basically all of the girls had their conference championship last weekend, which did not impact their regional qualification at all, but is always very, it's a big deal. Conference championship in all sports is a big deal.
So both Boise State and Southern Utah are part of the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference, UW in the Pac-12, and then Denver, the Big 12.
Boise State did capture its 5th straight Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference title. It's the longest conference championship streak in Boise State history. And their ranking, being 12th in the nation, is also their highest ranking in school history. So this has been a big, big season for Boise State.
And they are a team that has never made it on to nationals before. They have finished 3rd 5 times. So they're close. Once they were 0.025 away from moving on. So I can imagine that program would be very happy.
Absolutely.
They were one of the teams qualifying.
On top right of your screen, that was Kelly Hebert, who just did a nice bar set. She will be competing in the all-around, so we will be seeing Kelly on all 4 events. On floor for Washington, this is Geneva Thompson. Nice high double tuck to start off. Geneva's a sophomore from Puyallup, Washington. She earned a 9.9 at Pac-12 championships last weekend on this event. Solid performer. Nice front layout to a front layout full. Fun dance series. Relatively simple, but she did it beautifully. High amplitude. Geneva's getting ready for her last tumbling pass. Front handspring, front 1.5. We call that a Rudy. Nice routine for Geneva Thompson of University of Washington.
And over on beam, mid-routine for the Broncos is Hope Maciado. End of her routine, just caught her dismount there.
Great stick. So at this point, vault and bars are complete. Boise State is now done on beam, but there will be an individual from University of Alaska Anchorage coming up. And we do have 2 more competitors on floor for Washington. So getting ready to go on beam is Sophia Hyderali. She is a 5'2" junior from Daphne, Alabama. She qualified into this event. This is her only event today with a 9.875, which is a school record. She also won her 2nd title on beam at her conference championships and owns 5 of the top 8 beam scores in program history. So great to see her out here because she was injured most of last season. And it's so great when the gymnasts are able to come back and not just come back, but come back really, really strong, which is exactly what Sophia has done. She's earned a 9.925 on this event. Showing off her flexibility. Front aerial, another front aerial. Beautiful series, uncommon. Quite difficult as both of those elements are blind landings. So to connect it into another one is very difficult. It's a nice leap series, switch leap to a split quarter. Nice. We call that a gym acro series, combining a gymnastics, a dance element with an acro element. Beautiful full turn. It's required of all gymnasts on beam. And getting ready for her dismount. She also does a gainer off the end, very hard, and a stuck landing. That was a really, really nice beam routine. She should score very well. I would not be surprised if she broke her career high with that routine.
And you can see there Sophia getting high fives from Boise State, who she's rotating with. It's always great to see those teams. So it's hard to compete without your team. You get used to having that support.
Absolutely.
Competing as a college gymnast, and so the other teams kind of adopted individual.
Yes,
for
they
their
really
rotation.
do, and they're so supportive. On floor, this is Maya Washington with UW Huskies.
Maya is a junior from San Jose, California.
And just last weekend, she got a 9.95 on this event.
Very high double tuck there. A little bit of a larger step back. Don't know if the judges will take that landing deduction. Getting ready for her second pass here. Front layout to front layout full. She made it look easy. Nice leap series there. Judges are looking for a 180-degree split. I'd say that was beyond 180. Taking a bit of a breather here, choreography into the corner. And finishing with that double tuck. Again, kind of a rebound out of the double tuck instead of getting right to her finish and her landing. But overall, a strong routine.
And University of Washington has one more competitor left with Kristen Hoffa getting ready to go. And while we wait for the judges, last weekend on floor at Pac-12s, the Huskies set career highs back-to-back, 3 gymnasts in a row with a 9.9 or better. So hopes were high coming in. I'm sure they were very excited to start on floor, one of their best events.
And UW has qualified for nationals the previous 2 years. And so they're looking to make their third straight appearance, and that would be school history for them as they've never made it on to nationals 3 times in a row.
Yeah, in fact, of the 8 teams competing today, 4 now and 4 tonight, only Florida and University of Washington advanced to last year's national championships. Denver was there in 2017, Stanford was there in 2016, Oregon State in 2015, and Iowa in 2004. And the score that you just saw was just the score from that particular judge, not the final score. And here we go, our final competitor of the first event, or first rotation, excuse me. This is Kristen Hoffa. She's a senior from San Marcos, California. She has a lot of power. Beautiful full in for her first tumbling pass. She's an aggressive performer. She says she would play football if she had the chance. Nice front layout to a front layout full. Dancing right out of her tumbling pass, which really helps the judges say there is nothing there to deduct. This is Kristen's best event. She scored a 9.925 twice already this year. Definitely hoping to do the same right now. Catching her breath before her last tumbling pass. Round off back handspring, ending with a double tuck. Very difficult to do after an exhausting routine. Great routine for Kristen Hoffa. A strong finish for the first rotation for University of Washington. She's going to catch her breath, and all of the gymnasts will be moving to the second rotation.
And we'll get some scores for you here shortly. A little bit about how the teams qualified on to compete at regionals. So it's based on their NQS, or national qualifying score, and how that's calculated. It takes the team's 6 best regular season scores, of which 3 must come from road competitions, and then the highest score is dropped and the remaining 5 are averaged. And so all of the national rankings for both the teams and individuals are based off of that NQS.
The 2-minute transition will now begin.
And we will be back shortly once the action gets started again.
Second rotation is underway with Washington on vault, Denver on bars, Southern Utah on beam, and Boise State on floor.
And already in action for Boise State on floor, this is Maddie Nilsson. Strong opening double pike. Maddie is a junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. And she's majoring in chemistry. And a strong gymnast and student. She's earned MRGC All Academic and Scholar Athlete All American awards. And these gymnasts in the lead-off position have a very important role in setting the tone, getting a good routine started for their teammates. They're not going to be the ones earning those big 9.9s, but they are a very important part of the team. Nice Rudy there from Maddie. Boise State's off to a good start on floor.
And Claire Kern is getting some high fives from her bar routine over in the Denver end. Getting ready for beam for Southern Utah is going to be Autumn Jorgensen.
And taking some breaths there, waiting for the judges for UW, it's Monica Riley.
And it's odd to see all four events at a bit of a standstill, but momentarily they'll all be going again.
See the green flag on both beam and vault.
Here's Autumn Jorgensen for Southern Utah. Autumn is a junior from Orem, Utah. And a punch front. We don't see those very often anymore. They're quite difficult. She made it look very easy. Very nice oversplit switch leap into a straddle quarter. Her acro series, back handspring layout, step out, just a little bit off there. Small deduction. Solid full turn.
And we do have some team scores after the first rotation. Denver sitting at a 48.95 on vault. Southern Utah, 48.85 on bars. Boise State, 49.0 on beam. And UW,
Nice
49.225 on floor. So after the first rotation, we've got UW sitting in the lead.
All right. And speaking of, over on vault, for University of Washington,
this is Kristen Hoffa. And we saw Kristen already earlier on floor. Strong, powerful athlete there, big vault. Feet were pretty wide apart, easy to see it from this angle on her landing.
yeah, the judges might not be able to see it quite so easy. They will obviously take this step, but it was a really nice Yurchenko layout full. On bars for Denver, this is Deanna Chesnock. Giant blind full to a Tkachev. Nice handstand, an overshoot, a little bit short on that handstand. Maybe a little short there. Our angle is not strong to be able to truly see. The judges is though. And a full in dismount, great landing. Good routine for Deanna Chesnock from Denver. Back
And
over on vault.
This is Madison Kopiak, the junior from Calgary,
Ah.
Canada. Oh, look at that stick. Oh, that makes me happy. I know Madison Kopiak from club gymnastics days. She was just a little one, but she was known for her work ethic, and you can see that she's obviously been putting in the time in the gym to dial in those stuck landings that are so important in the postseason.
Absolutely. Over on floor, Courtney McGregor is starting her floor routine for Boise State. Courtney is a conference all-around champion and was the Boise State Athlete of the Week last week. Opens with a beautiful double pike. She's so in control of her landings. One of her former New Zealand teammates, Charlotte Sullivan, will be competing for Iowa in tonight's session. Beautiful second tumbling pass. We're seeing more and more the girls dancing out of their front tumbling. Not only is it smart choreography, it just makes for a better flow. And any errors are much less visible. Last tumbling pass for Courtney. Front handspring. There's another Rudy. Nicely done. Strong routine for Courtney McGregor. Wanted to throw in a quick score for you. Sophia Hyderali that we watched on Beam in the last rotation scored a 9.9 for her effort.
And the individuals can also qualify on to NCAAs from regionals.
Yes, they have to win their event.
That hasn't changed.
With a 9.9 or better, I believe. I don't believe that's changed. The competition is so stiff, it's very difficult.
But possible.
Definitely possible. That was a beautiful acro series over on Beam for Southern Utah.
And this is Shailin Murakami up for Southern Utah. Nice stick there on her dismount.
And let's go to vault. So we can show you Brenna Brooks for Washington. And a very difficult vault. She did a Yurchenko half on and then a front pike off. She did have to bend her knees a little bit to complete the rotation. But nevertheless, great vault for Brenna Brooks. Getting ready to compete on bars is Lindsey Brown. With Denver.
And Lindsay was a regular season second team All-American on bars. So a very talented bars worker.
She's the Big 12, or she's been the Big 12 Gymnast of the Week 3 times and has scored a 9. This is not Lindsey Brown. I apologize. This is Maddie Carr. There we go. And a little bit short on that handstand. Giant full pirouette to a Ginger. Her legs are glued together. Very difficult to do that on that element. Her handstands do look a little short to me, though. That will be a small deduction. And a double layout and a stick. A great routine for Maddie Carr. Ranked 4th in the nation in the all-around. And ranked 9th in the country on bars. The Huskies are all done on vault. Denver looks like they're complete on bars, although we do have Anna Salamoni from the Air Force getting ready to compete. And Maddie Layden from Arizona will also be competing on vault as an individual. Let's go to bars. We can take a look at Anna, her one event for the day. Anna's 5'2" junior from Bayport, New York. She won bars at the NPSF Championships, her 3rd straight conference title. And so far is looking beautiful. She holds the current Academy record with a 9.95 on this event. She has really nice rhythm, beautiful full in. Oh, and just a little hop on that dismount. It's Anna Salamoni for the Air Force.
And in action for Boise State on floor, we have Tatum Gruden. Tatum is a sophomore from Peoria, Arizona.
Last year, she only competed on vault and beam, and this year has added floor and bars into her repertoire.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing athletes grow into more college events. So all gymnasts will come in having competed all 4 in high school, but because you have to be in the top 6 of your team to make competition lineup, there's not that many all-arounders really. But a lot of girls will continue to practice those other events and, like Tatum, make that lineup down the road.
And coaches like having that depth. So they can, if girls get injured or just need to mix it up, that they have options.
In Southern Utah, just finished up on beam. That was Karen Gonzalez. And we will have an individual compete on both beam and floor.
And on beam will be Kelly Hebert for UC Davis.
And on floor, Christina Berg for Arizona. So Christina did compete. Oh, we still have one more athlete left on Boise State for floor, and that will be Alex Esmerian.
Alex is a redshirt senior from Auburn, California, majoring in health science studies. Always hard to wait for the judges. And it looks like beam judges are ready before floor. Not sure if we can hop over there or not. This is Kelly Hebert for UC Davis. Her acro series, back handspring layout, really nicely done. Don't see a 3-element series from college athletes very often. Kelly is a 5'2" sophomore from Dublin, California. She's the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Gymnast of the Year for the second year in a row. And as we stated before, she's competing in the all-around today. She has scored a 39 or better in 7 meets this year. And her dismount, round off, 1.5 twist. Small step on the landing, but a great routine for Kelly Hebert.
And over on floor, mid-routine, this is Alex Esmerian. Nice 1.5 twist to front layout. Ending with a strong Rudy. That's the 1.5 twisting front layout. And with that performance, wraps up the teams that are competing in the second rotation. But we will have Christina Berg from Arizona go on floor still.
And Christina qualified on both floor and bars for Arizona.
And Christina competed yesterday during the play-in round versus Iowa. Unfortunately for her, her team did not qualify, but because she had such a high NQS national qualifying score on those 2 events, bars and floor, even though her team didn't make it, she still made it to move on and compete as an individual. Christina is majoring in nutritional science with hopes of becoming a physical therapist.
And Christina is a junior from Tinley Park, Illinois.
Nice front double twist from Christina. Sometimes those front double twists don't look quite as impressive as the really big full ins or double layouts, but it's actually the same difficulty, Heather, is that correct?
Depending on what it's like a double pipe.
Yeah,
it is a D.
Yeah, it's a D.
It's rated a D element and is quite difficult.
so it doesn't have the big air
Right, big
that
wow
those-
factor.
that the double flipping elements do, but it's still really hard.
Yes. But that is the key, right? To make it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Rudy into a straddle jump there. As Heather mentioned, we're seeing more and more athletes leap or dance out of their tumbling passes. So you don't have to worry about any possible landing deduction.
That wraps up rotation 2. We are exactly halfway through the competition. And coming up next will be Boise State moving to vault. Washington will be on bars. Denver will be on beam. And Southern Utah will be on floor. And we're going to take a little break while the girls move over and get warmed up and ready to go. We'll see you in a few minutes.
The 2-minute transition will now begin. For the third rotation, Boise State on vault, Washington on bars, Denver on beam, and Southern Utah on floor. Gymnasts, you may begin your 4-minute, 30-second test period now. NCAA opposes all forms of legal and illegal sports wagering, as it has the potential to undermine the integrity of sports contests and jeopardizes the welfare of student athletes and the intercollegiate athletics community. For more information, go to don'tbetonit.org. Gymnasts, this concludes your 4-minute, 30-second touch. Judges, please take control of your event.
And we're back for this third rotation. It will be Boise State on vault, Washington on bars, Denver on beam, and Southern Utah on floor.
And starting off for Washington, this is Michaela Nelson. Michaela starts on the high bar, which is unusual. But it's really whatever works best for each gymnast. A little bit close on that Jaeger. She made the adjustment though. That was a nice pack salto down to the low bar. Back up, nice handstand. And giant full pirouette into an immediate double flyaway. Great landing. And that's an excellent start for the Huskies. We're going to get you some team scores here shortly. As we were glancing during the break, though, scores are tight.
And up on beam for Denver, this is Lindsey Brown. And Lindsay is a sophomore, Kansas City. Nice dismount there.
And on floor, this is Autumn Jorgensen for Southern Utah. Joining her routine partway through. Round up back handspring double tuck. Great last pass for Autumn. And over on bars, getting ready for Washington is Maya Washington. Maya's a junior from San Jose, California. She's been very consistent for the Huskies this year. Very dynamic handstands. Nice Ginger release move to a second release move down to the low bar. And she's really nailing her handstands. 2 giants to a full in, a little bit of a leg separation, but great bar routine. Over on vault, take a quick look at Tatum Bruden. Vault goes so quickly. A nice Yurchenko layout full there.
And mid-routine for Denver on beam, this is Alexandria Ruiz. Nice side aerial there from Alexandria. Small hop on the dismount.
Getting ready for vault. This is Gabriela Boza for Boise State. Yurchenko, layout full, really nicely done. She was so high, she was able to flare out her body after the twist. Just a tiny step there.
And over on bars for UW, this is Ivani Roberson. Nice overshoots the low bar transition. Coming up for her high bar handstand. Again, can't quite tell the angle there, but that double layout just floated. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to nail that landing. Did take that small hop back, but looked like it was a solid routine.
Over on beam for Mia Sundstrom for Denver.
Mia is a sophomore from Boulder, Colorado.
Mia's been a really strong member of the Denver team. She competed in the all-around in every meet last year. Nice acro series, tiny little wobble there. And that was a cartwheel, a really relatively very simple element, most likely put in her routine to show that she's doing a forward element. Girls need to do both forward and backwards at some point. This is her leap series. Both elements, to me, looked a little bit short as far as the 180-degree requirement that the judges are looking for. But she nailed that dismount. Beautiful gainer pike off the end of the beam. On floor.
This is Karen Gonzalez for Southern Utah. Karen is a redshirt senior from Murrieta, California. Low chest there on her opening double tuck tumbling pass. So there will be a deduction for that. Very nice leap series there. Full extension. Front layout full. Nicely done. Just saw a really big stick on bars for UW from Monica Riley. Ending with a Rudy from Karen Gonzalez. And at this point, scores are tight across the teams, and only the top two are moving on, so every stick matters.
Over on beam, this is Alexis Vasquez for Denver. Oh, and a really unique, beautiful full turn with her leg straight up, showing not only flexibility, but just the technique of that turn itself is why you don't see it very often, because it is very hard. And her dismount aerial to a full, beautifully done, and a perfect stick for Alexis Vasquez.
Getting ready to compete for UW is Madison Kupiak on bars. Madison was a second team All-American on this event back in 2017, and she has a career high score of 9.975.
She did that just 2 meets ago. So hopes are high, and UW's been looking really great on bars.
Oh, and Madison is off on her piked Jaeger. Looked really nice in the air, but perhaps didn't catch her dowel and kind of pinged off the bar.
We'll hope for the best for her as she is able to recover. We're going to jump over the floor. For Southern Utah, this is Carly McLean. Carly is a freshman from South Jordan, Utah. A nice 1.5 to a front layout there. She's the 2019 MRGC Freshman of the Year. She also won floor and the all-around at the Junior Olympic Nationals last year. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Carly in years to come for Southern Utah. Last pass, double tuck, really well done. We're trying to find out for you about Madison.
It looks like
over
she
on bars.
didn't finish her routine.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, you only have 30 seconds to get back up on the event on bars and beam if you fall. And, you know, with the potential injury, you always want to play it safe in that instance.
Yeah.
And we hope to see her.
Yeah, that'll be a really big loss for UW if she's out moving into beam. She's a big scorer, consistent athlete. And so hopefully it was nothing serious.
We are going to watch here Geneva Thompson for Washington.
Nice high bar handstand there. A little bit choppy there on her Jaeger. Judges are looking for completely fluid swinging motions throughout the bar routine.
I know the pressure is on her with Madison's fall, and it's
And not
scary.
just the fall, but
Yeah.
you know, having your athlete, your teammate injured, that's a tough routine to follow.
It is, and she did a great job. That wraps it up for Washington. So Boise State and Washington are done, but we still have competitors left on beam and floor for Denver and Southern Utah.
On beam, this is Caitlin Scow for Denver. And Caitlin is a talented beam worker. She was a regular season All-American first team this year.
And she has scored a 995 3 times this year. I know that they're hoping for it again today. Finishing up her floor team is Madison McBride for Southern Utah. Double tuck, a little bit low there. She was able to hang on to it.
Seems like the beam judges have been faster than the floor judges this meet. We still have another athlete up from Southern Utah on floor.
But over on beam, this is Alyssa Ito getting ready to go from UC Davis. And Alyssa, you probably can't tell, well, maybe, she is tiny. She is only 4'9". She's a sophomore from Hacienda Heights, California. Her career high on this event is a 9.9. Beautiful. She just made that series look so easy, just floated and not even a tiny bobble. She's competed on this event in all 11 meets this year with scores of a 9.8 or better, which on beam is quite an accomplishment. Fun little move there. We call that a tick-tock. As she goes forward and then backwards again. Just showing some originality. And her dismount, gainer pike off the end of the beam. Tiny hop, really beautiful routine for Alyssa Ito from UC Davis.
And mid-routine on floor, this is junior Madison Loomis. Front layout with a half twist. More often we'll see that gymnasts perform that with a full twist. Changing it up a little bit there. You might not know it watching the athletes do these floor routines, but it is a big time endurance test to get through a floor routine. They're dancing, they're tumbling. And if you're not in good shape, you're not going to be able to make that last tumbling pass.
Absolutely. And make it look good.
Yeah.
So all of the teams are done with their events, but we do have one more individual competitor coming up on floor. Kelly Abear will be getting ready to go from UC Davis. And
looking at some scores here, Denver has pulled ahead going into the final rotation. They're sitting at a 147.75. Boise State is in second. I don't believe that Madison's score will be included in this yet, but they currently have a 146.95. So they're a ways back from Denver, but University of Washington is right on their tail with a 146.85. And Southern Utah is still very much in the competition, sitting at a 146.75.
And so only two
Two
tenths
tenths, yeah.
between
So
second and fourth. So it's really
it's
anybody's
down
game right
to
now.
looks like Denver, they do their job. They ought to qualify, but it's of the other three teams remaining, anybody could have that final rotation and move on to the Saturday night competition.
Absolutely. If you think about it in steps, one step is 1/10. And if the 5 girls are competing, 5 scores count, and two steps, 2 wobbles, a short little handstand on bars. I mean, we're talking minute details at this point is going to separate second, third, and fourth, and will ultimately determine who advances to the final tomorrow evening.
Yeah, and it's those little details that you can tear yourself up over. Oh, if only I had, if you're one of those teams that didn't make it, if only I'd stuck that dismount or I'd nailed that handstand. So
here we go. Final competitor for the third rotation. For third rotation is Kelly Abear from UC Davis. So far, Kelly's had a great meet. She hit her first 2 events. Opens with a nice double pike. She did step forward out of that. That will be a small deduction. Basically, the rule is if you're tumbling backwards, you're allowed to step backwards in a controlled manner on the floor. And if you're tumbling forwards, you can step forwards coming out of your tumbling. Also looking for control. Back 1.5 to a front layout. She actually stuck that. That was very nicely done. Even though she's only a sophomore, Kelly hopes to become a nurse, citing anatomy as her favorite class. Last tumbling pass. Nice high double tuck. A little bit of a large step there, but a great routine for Kelly Abear.
This concludes our third round of competition. Gymnasts, please prepare to march to your next event. The 2-minute transition will begin shortly.
And we have now completed 3 rotations. We're going to be coming back in a few minutes after the girls move. There's a look at the scores as they stand right now. As you can see, as Stephanie was stating, it is such a tight race for the second position. And a lot can happen in one event. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
session will now begin. For the fourth rotation, Southern Utah on pole, Boise State on bars, Washington is on beam, and Denver is on float. Gymnasts, you may now begin your 4-minute, 30-second touch period. Do you plan to play college sports? Visit ncaa.org/playcollegesports to learn more about NCAA eligibility requirements. Want to learn more about the student athletes and teams participating in today's championship? Pick up your official NCAA championship program in the main lobby today.
And we're back for the final rotation of the afternoon session in Gill Coliseum. And as we were mentioning earlier, it's down to the wire.
And we're going to start on beam with Brenna Brooks for Washington. Brenna is a freshman from Allen, Texas. Her pre-meet tradition is eating waffles on competition day. Nice front toss into a big handspring for her acrobatic series. Front aerial into a jump. Now, beam is probably one of the hardest events to finish on. It's a slow event and every little mistake shows. So it's harder to get those real big scores unless you are just right on. And her leap series right into her dismount. Unfortunately, a step there, but it was a nice routine for Brenna.
Over on floor for Denver, this is Mia Sundstrom.
Popping over to bars.
This is Sarah Means. And Denver has been very strong on bars this season. They're coming in ranked 7th in the nation. So if they could pick a rotation to end on in a close competition, I imagine they'd be pretty happy with
This
bars.
would be it, absolutely. And Sarah just nailed her routine, sticking her dismount. So strong start. And back over on beam for Washington. Getting ready to compete. This is Monica Riley. Monica is a senior from Irving, Texas.
Gosh, I think I just got a little nervous for these athletes. Like thinking about being at regionals and it's down to the last event and you want to move on so badly.
Absolutely. This is what you train for.
And the thing is, you can't want it too badly. You just have to go out there and do your gymnastics.
Do what you've practiced day in and day out is the key. And that's unfortunate. Fall is a 5/10 mistake. And one of the hardest things is getting back up and finishing your routine, knowing that you're hoping that your score won't count for the team, but knowing that you also need to finish strong. Jump series there, split jump, followed by a straddle quarter. What a nice standing layout, step out. Very difficult element. Coming out of a dance move, nonetheless. And Monica's dismount, 1.5 twist, great stuck landing. I know that they're hoping to drop that score though.
Mid-routine over on floor is Claire Kern for Denver. Claire is a senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. A little bit of a low chest there on her double tuck. And over on bars for Boise State is
This is Courtney McGregor. Courtney has scored a 9.975 on this event. I know they would like to see that right now. Beautiful, really high, full in dismount, great landing. It's a lot of energy out there right now.
And chalking up the beam there for UW, getting ready to compete, is Maya Washington.
Which judges are going to be ready first? We shall see. And beam has been on it.
Mm-hmm. So for UW, there are 6 athletes up, only 5 scores count, so they still have a shot.
Absolutely. And Maya has been the picture of consistency on this event this season. They're really counting on her right now.
Nice leap series there from Maya. Solid stuck dismount there.
That's going to help.
Definitely the type of routine they're looking for.
And while Maya was competing, Emily Molenhoff was on bars. Beautiful routine. She did have a hop on her landing. And at this point, it is coming down to every single little bit now.
And on for right now for Denver is Alexandria Ruiz.
Double pike. Nicely done. Very difficult last tumbling pass for Alexandria Ruiz.
And presenting to the judges on bars is Maddie Nilsson. Nice high bar handstand there. Big Tkachev. I think I might have seen a bit of a toe flex as she went over the high bar there. To the high bar, getting ready for her dismount here. Big stick.
That's the kind of landing that Boise State needs.
Mounting.
Back over on beam. This is Michaela Nelson for Washington. Michaela's a junior from Montgomery Village, Maryland. Acrobatic series, beautifully done. She just floated into that handspring layout step out. The dreaded full turn, itty bitty wobble. And her dance combination there, a little bit short on her split. It will depend on the angle that the judges see that, whether any deduction is taken. Split jump to a layout, step out. And Michaela's dismount, round off, back 1.5 twist, and another step there. But solid routine for Washington. Over on bars, we're going to take a peek at Christina Berg's dismount. Really nice full in. Christina's from Arizona, and she is done for the day with 2 really strong events. This is Caitlin Scow finishing up her routine from Denver. So right now, Southern Utah is done on vault. Kelly Aber, who was rotating with them from UC Davis in the all-around, she is also done for the day. Boise State and the individuals completely done with bars. We've got 3 competitors left on beam and 2 left on floor.
And although, like we talked about before, none of the athletes are having to sit through by and see the scores come through, but because Boise State was on bars, which finished a lot quicker than beam, they are now sitting watching those scores. They're locked in at a 196.225, and so we'll see if UW is able to top that.
And getting ready for beam for University of Washington is Mallory Rose. Mallory's a senior. Beautiful mount, jump to a split, and that with no hands is quite difficult. This is Mallory's special event. She is a specialist here. She's got a 9.925 the last 2 meets. Nice full turn there. And a switch leap into a split leap. See how flexible Mallory is through many of her elements. And her dismount, aerial into a tuck full and stuck landing. Exactly what UW needs.
Looking at the scores and where UW is sitting, it'll be close. I don't know if they're going to be able to top that 196.225 that Boise State put up.
Mid-routine over on floor. We're going to take a look at Maddie Parr. Nice Rudy for her last tumbling pass.
You see UW head coach Elise Ray giving Madison Kopiak's last-minute advice. Glad to see that she is in the beam lineup. Didn't have to pull her after that scary fall on bars. But I know Madison is a tough athlete So not surprised to see she's still out there.
We also have one final competitor on floor. We'll hopefully get to see the very tail end of her routine after we see Madison.
And
that'll be Lindsey Brown. And UW season really does come down to Madison hitting, because they did already have a fall earlier in this rotation. Nice recovery.
Yeah, bit of a balance check there, though. Very solid leap there from Madison. Made that aerial cartwheel look easy. And a stuck dismount.
And so we could jump right over to floor so we could catch Lindsey's floor routine, because she has scored a 10 on this event. She's ranked 4th in the nation and already opened up with a gorgeous double layout. Second tumbling pass for Lindsey Brown. 1.5 to a front layout, right into a dance element. Just having a lot of fun out there.
And not only was Lindsey first team All-American on floor for the regular season, but also the all-around.
She's had an amazing season. And Lindsey Brown doing it again for Denver. We're going to be waiting for a few scores to pop in, but we do have one more competitor left, and that's going to be Haley Hendrickson for Arizona. She's waited this entire competition for this one routine.
Haley is a senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And she's a physiology major with a sports nutrition minor and wants to be a physician's assistant. Really nice triple series there from Haley.
And if the scores don't change, which at this point I don't think they will, Denver is coming in at first place with a 196.675, followed by Boise State with a 196.225. Washington was not able to overcome, but they had a good score of a 195.9, and Southern Utah will be 4th place with a 195.35. That concludes this session.
We will be doing some interviews with the coaches of Denver and Boise State, so feel free to stay tuned for that. If not, we will be back at 7 p.m. for the evening session today.
And we'll be back in just a couple minutes.